So is finance a good major? As someone with a finance degree, I can answer that question for you. For those of you who don't know, I'm Kayla. I have a bachelor's degree in finance from a state school, and I graduated with a 3.6 GPA. I upload new content to YouTube at least once a week, so make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. In this video, I'll be discussing factors regarding you, the major, and whether or not it could be a good pick for you. In general, finance is a great degree and is a top pick at any university you choose to go to. The first factor I'm going to bring up is location. Where do you currently live and where do you want to live in the future? If you're not a fan of living in big cities, then finance would not be the best pick for you. The most coveted finance jobs are always in big cities like New York City, Chicago, San Francisco, etc. So if your dream is to work for a hedge fund, a private equity firm, a venture capital firm, etc., then you need to live in a big city. If you just want to live in a small town, or you're content just being someone like a financial center manager for a retail bank in a small town, it's not worth going to school and spending thousands upon thousands of dollars for a 4-year finance degree. So don't make that choice. My next question to you would be, where do you currently go to school? Or if you're not in college already, what school could you get yourself into? Because the top companies do the most aggressive recruiting at top universities. The higher your university is ranked, the better chance you have at being recruited by a top bank or a top company. Being successful in finance really begins during your high school career. You need to have a high GPA to get into top universities, and you need to have a high GPA to get recruited by companies. The next thing I will add is that companies hiring finance majors very much look at your GPA. So the higher your GPA, the more attractive you will be to potential employers. Finance is not a major like something like engineering, where you could have a 3.0 GPA and still be very hireable. The closer you have to a perfect 4.0, the more chances you will have at gaining an attractive finance job. I will add that there are finance jobs basically in every single place in the United States, but ones in smaller towns are not going to be six-figure jobs. They're going to be like $50,000 or $60,000 jobs. And did you really spend 4 years going to school to just make $60,000 a year? And that's for basically your whole entire career. You might top out at $100,000 a year. But if you're somebody who's watching this video right now and you're already interested in majoring in finance, you're most likely interested in one of those top jobs like in investment banking or hedge funds, etc., because you want to start off at $100,000 and end up in the very high six figures range at the end of your career. So your GPA and the university that you go to does matter. The next question I'm going to ask you is, who's in your network? So who do you know, and who do those people know? A lot of finance jobs really depend on who you know, who your family knows, who your friends know, etc. I hate to say it, but finance and being successful in finance can really be a popularity contest. So the more people you know and the more people empowered that your network knows gives you a better chance of being successful in finance. And that could be said about any industry out there. No matter what your degree, the connections that you have is very important. So don't choose to major in finance if you aren't willing to make the connections, to reach out to people already in the jobs that you are interested in going into, people who have already graduated in finance from your school. You've got to be able to be willing to reach out to alumni, to hiring managers, to anybody who you can make a connection with to be able to propel yourself to success. It's no big secret that most majors do not have you prepared to enter the job force, and that includes finance. Do not major in finance if you are not prepared to do self-study. It was pretty hilarious being in the capstone course of my major, And if you're not that far along in college yet, capstone means the final course that all majors need to take before they're able to receive their degree. Being in that class and most of the students not knowing how to use Excel, it was ridiculous. If you plan on majoring in finance, you need to be prepared to spend time out of class to be able to learn how to actually be successful in the real world. I highly recommend that you read financial publications, you take more courses online, take courses on advanced Excel techniques, because 99% of universities out there are not going to teach you everything that you need to know to be successful. I know a popular place to take further financial courses and to take more advanced Excel courses is on Wall Street Oasis. So I will link that down below, and I will also put it on the screen here for you to Google. If you're in Finance 101 right now, before you're able to officially declare finance as your major and you're having major problems with it, and if you're really giving it your best go, you have a tutor, you're spending lots of time on it, you're giving it a genuine effort, then you should probably reconsider majoring in finance. You need to have some math aptitude to be able to major in finance. I'm sure I'll get this question because I was a female who majored in finance. Yes, there are many more boys in your classes than girls. I'd say in a general class there was 60 people and there was probably like 5 other girls in the classes besides myself, which I don't personally care about, but if you're a female and you're not comfortable with those ratios, then don't major in finance. As far as recruiting goes, finance is definitely one of the top recruited for majors at any university. As far as the School of Business goes, the only major I think that would be more recruited for is accounting majors. There are many different opportunities out there in the world of finance. You don't have to just go into investment banking, private equity, hedge funds, etc. You could go and be a financial advisor. You could go into the world of equity research. You could be in wealth management. You could be a financial analyst for basically any company out there. So there are plenty of different avenues for you to go down. I'm going to stress to you now that if you're only interested in working in finance because you think you can make a lot of money, then you really need to look at your priorities. Money isn't the only thing that's going to make you happy, and the top finance jobs, the first couple of years are extremely rough. Really, your whole entire career in finance will be very rough. You're going to work a lot of hours. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot to be successful in finance, especially like the first 5 years. If you go down the route of investment banking, private equity, venture capital, etc., you're gonna have to give up. You're gonna have to give up sleep. You're gonna have a lot of people give up eating healthy. A lot of people give up working out. People give up starting a family just so they can continue to work 90, 100 hours every single week. If you're willing to make those kinds of sacrifices, then that's cool. But I just want to let you know that there are other ways to make lots of money. In finance, you very much are trading your time for money. If you're not genuinely interested and passionate about finance, then do not major in finance. If you do end up graduating with a finance degree and don't end up working in finance, then that's perfectly fine. There are many different avenues you can go down with a finance degree, and a popular one that I see is people taking their 4-year finance degree and going into law school and becoming a lawyer who specializes in many different financial topics. So you could be a lawyer who specializes in mortgages, real estate lawyer, financial regulations lawyer. Finance opens up a lot of doors in every single industry, so don't be afraid to major in finance. And I'm sure I'll get this question too about a master's in finance. In general, don't get a master's in finance unless you want to get your PhD in finance. At least the school that I went to and in my region, people who got masters in finance weren't people who had bachelors in finance. They were usually engineering students who were working for a company, and then the company wants them to gain more traditional financial knowledge, so they sponsor them to go through the master's program in finance so they can say that they have a master's in finance. So if you're dead set on getting a 4-year degree, and especially a 4-year degree in business, finance is a great choice. It's a tough major, but if you're willing to make it work for you, then finance is going to do good by you. If you have any more questions, be sure to leave them down below. I'll answer them, or you can also reach me on any of my social profiles. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like and share it to anybody who might be looking for this kind of information. And be sure to hit the subscribe button down below so you never miss any of my content. I post new videos at least once a week. I hope you have a great day, and see you in the next one.